Hi friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. So today I have two 25 patch blocks for you. They are not very hard. The first one I will walk you all the way through just as a refresher on how this is done. And then the second one obviously is just going to be mostly walked through, and the rest will get put in fast forward with some tunes. But that way you don't miss a step and it makes it easier to follow along. So without further ado, here's two more 25 patch blocks. All right, let's get to the first block. So here we have a 6-color block. Super simple because we're not just making half square triangles. A lot of it is regular. So what we need here is 10 black to fill in these sections. And then the rest of it is just 5 of each color. So we have 5 purple. Then we have 5 pink, or what, it's almost pink in this. So we're going to have 5 pink. And then we have 5 blue. So we're going to have 5 blue. Then we have 5 green and 5 orange. So all we need to do now is figure out which ones of these are going to stay solid and which one we're going to turn into half square triangles. So it looks like 4 of these. We're going to pull one out. We don't need the one purple. 4 of those are going to be half square triangles. 3 of the pink, according to the chart, is going to be half square triangles. So let's pull 3 of those out. Then 1 of the green is half square triangle. And then 2 of the blue is going to be half square triangle. So there's 2 blue. Orange doesn't need it. And we're going to take those blacks over and those other pieces right here and turn these into half square triangles. Okay, so here we are at the machine. All I'm going to do now is turn all of these into half square triangles. So what we do is put them right sides together, or you can press your line like this to make a half square triangle, or you can draw your line, or you can use seam tape, or you can even draw a line with pencil on your machine. I know some people are kind of against with a pencil drawing on their nice machines, but that's what I had at first. So we're just going to line it up from corner to corner is what we're going to sew. We're not sewing on any sides of any lines. We're just going to sew from corner to corner, just like this. We're going to line up that next one. And if you drew your line, you'd be sewing on the line. If you pressed your line, you would be sewing on your line. And the best way, if you were to have pressed a line, is to press them in right sides together like this. Wrong sides together like this, sorry. And then when you open it up, you'll have a valley instead of a mountain. So it's kind of easier to sew on it that way. So I'm going to sew from corner to corner on all of these. Just like this. Now we just need to trim them all. So what I'm going to do is one at a time, line up my 1/4 inch mark. And I use a rotary cutter for this, but you can use scissors if you want to. It's just, I'm using these for something else. And then we just cut away a 1/4 inch seams worth. So just line it up, put your 1/4 inch on your sewing line, just like this, and trim them away. The next step is to press. I'm just going to press them all towards the black because they are not being sewn together into anything other. They're all going to go the same direction. It makes it easier. So we're just going to press all of these towards the black background. And now we're here to lay out our block. Everything is sewn. Everything is ready. So we're going to go ahead and start with the orange. We're just going to taper the orange down like this. Oh, I guess there is a right and a wrong side. Just going to put those just like that according to the chart. And then the next below that is the greens. We're going to go ahead and just get these greens in there. And then the next color is the blue. So we'll line the blues up in there. Then the pinks. And then the purple. So that side's already that easy because those aren't half square triangles. Now the rest of these are going to be with the black facing away. So we're going to go with the purple first with the black facing away. Like that. And there should be one more. Just like that. The next one in this is the pink. So those are going to go with the black facing away. The next one is the two blues. And the last and final piece is the green. So there is our block. All we have to do now is sew it together. This one was a little bit more on the easier side. So we're going to take this row, this row, this row, this row, and this row. And we're going to start taking these right sides together over to the machines. We're going to go just like this, right sides together, all the way down. And we're going to sew along this side. So the left side, the right side. See, I get that left and right thing messed up every day. So we're going to sew the right side, not the left side. The right side all the way down. And then when we open these up, we can put the third row on, just like this. So we attach the third row, and then the fourth row, and then the fifth row. So let's take these over to the machine, and we're going to start chain piecing these together. Okay, so now we're here at the machine. I'm going to put my seam guide down so that it's at 1/4 inch, just like this. And I'm going to line these up, and I'm going to sew on my right side, just like this, and run them through, just like that. Then I'm going to take my next two. I did not turn anything, although it doesn't matter because there's not half square triangles on this side of the block, at least now. Sew those on through. Then the next two, sew these on through. Then the next two, and sew these on through. Then that next and final, we're going to sew those just like that. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to press them right. Actually, I want to do this opposite this time. We're going to go left, then right. Left, then right, and then left. That way I'm not pressing towards the first half square triangle. So now everything is hooked together. Makes it simple. We're going to go ahead and reach over and grab the first one in row 3 or column 3 or however you want to say it. We're going to put those right sides together. Sew that through. Second one, we're going to go ahead and right sides together that and sew this one on through. Then we're going to grab the next one, which is a solid piece. It's not a half square triangle. Sew that on through all the way until we get to the next column. So let's get these sewn through just like this. Grab that next one, sew this through. Again, I'm going to repeat this time with left, right instead of right, left like I usually do, only because that first one started with a half square triangle and it just seemed like it would have been good to have it facing that way first. And then this one this way, but it really doesn't matter as long as they are all opposite. So now they're all hooked together still. We just grab that first one in column 4 and we're going to sew that through just like this. Grab that second one in column 4 or row 4. Grab the third one, right sides together. Grab that fourth one, right sides together. Oops, come on. And last but not least, this one. And then after this, we only have one more column to sew. So again, I'm just going to press these with my finger for now. No sense in taking it to the iron. So we're going left, right, left this time. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take that 5th and final row's first piece. We're going to hold this on here, sew it on through. Grab that next one, sew it on through. Next, sew it on through. 2 more left. Sew this on through. And the last and final piece, I'm going to go ahead and sew that through. So now all we have to do is finger press these in the order which we were doing. So the left, right, left this time. And once those are all done, we're going to be ready to sew the whole thing together. So now the whole thing, they're all hooked. It may look weird because we're missing the seam allowance, but now we're just going to turn it to the side and we're going to grab this one that was on the bottom and put that right sides together with that second row. And we're going to line everything up and every single seam should nest. Oops, if I can get that to stay where I wanted it. Right here. So all of these should all be exactly the same size, no matter which size block you use. Just going to hold those seams, making sure everything stayed nicely aligned, nothing shifted or adjusted. Line it all up and sew it on through. Then we're going to take and open that up, and it doesn't matter which way. I'm just going to press it towards one side, and I'm going to do that with this whole entire block. So I just finger press this to the left for now, to the right. We're going to put this now onto this side, just like that. And again, my seams are finger pressed, so they are going to land one after the other, just right sides together. They're going to land super nice and nest. Just hold it with your finger. Sew it on through with a 1/4-inch seam. They should nest right up. Everything was beautifully going one direction, the other direction, just like this. Now that those are sewn together, we're going to open this, and again, I'm going to finger press this towards the right for now. Turn the whole thing around. Now I just have these 2 more rows. I'm going to put those right sides together now. So it's impossible to put this wrong one there. You can't do it. So you could either sew these 2 together first, or you can just do like I do and put the whole thing over and sew it on through. So they're now nested, and you could feel it with your fingers. It's nice and flat of a seam. Just sew it through. If you have to stick your finger between them and adjust it, go ahead and do so. Just like this, and these are now going to get finger pressed towards the left because the rest of them the opposite direction, so now everything's going the same direction. Last row is going to go right sides together. Just going to line that up. Once you line the end up, the rest of it falls into place. So it should I just hold the seams down because it makes it easier to hold the seam down as you go. Just going to make sure it lands nicely on there, just like this. Line that last one up, nest that seam, all the way through. And again, I'm going to finger press this now towards the left. And I do have a thread. Oh, it just came right out. So now we're going to take this over and press it. All right, so now we're here at the iron. And you can see that I have manually finger pressed everything, so it's wanting to go that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make you guys a little crooked here because the way I'm standing. I'm just going to take and make sure that this bottom row is flat. I'm going to give that top a little bit of a tug. Oops. And oops. Try not to, just going to press it back just like this. Just like this. And once everything is the way I want it, then I'll flip the whole thing over and run it back just like this, making sure that everything stayed nice and open, and it did. And it looks like, oh man, I'm going to take this back over to the sewing machine because it looks like that last one, the tension is messed up. Is it just that last one? Oh, it's like half of this one and that last one. So I'm going to re-sew these two seams real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, those are now fixed. Now to press it. I don't know what happened there, but I had to rethread the whole entire machine and the bobbin. And it happens, so don't be scared. Tension problems happen. Nothing is perfect. Push these seams back down. I noticed they're all starting to flip. There we go. All right. Every time I turn my head, that happens. All right, let's get this super flat. Okay, let's take this over and see. Okay, so here's our finished block. This one is far from perfect because the tension issues, and then I re-sewed over it again, and that created a little bit more bulk instead of ripping it. It created a little bit more bulk in the seam. It's not laying exactly perfect. You can see that this side kind of wants to stick up, but it's within 1/8 of an inch, so I will fit it into when I start putting them together. Plus it has a little bit of a stretch, so that's just gonna have to stay like that. But there's the block. Here is the photo, and it looks exactly like the photo. So there we have it. Block 1 for this video is done. Let's get on to the next. Okay, so block 2 for this is going to be 6 color, and it has quarter square triangles, except this time our quarter square triangles are not going to be cutoffs. So what we will need for this is 2 reds, because there are 4 pieces, and we're going to just cut these directly in half, because if we cut them on the diagonal both ways, it doesn't give us the size we need. So we're going to need 2 reds, and then we are going to need 2 blues. So as you can see, blue and red, they're going to be going together. Then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 purple, and then 5 green, and then let's see where we at. Pink, we need 8, so there's 8 pink, and then 4, it's the tannish color, but I'm just using yellow because I don't feel like digging for a tan. So we're going to stick this right here, and we're going to start with our quarter square triangles. So these are definitely going to be the first thing we do. So right here, we're going to take these, and then we're going to reach over and grab ourselves a ruler, and I'm going to cut these on the diagonal from corner to corner 1 time. And I know that the straight grain or the knot or the bias is going to be on the outer side or on the inner side, which turns to be the outer side, but that's okay because we're going to trim these blocks down, and they're getting sewn in, and they're so small it's not going to matter. So these 2 are going together. These are going to be our pieces, and then we need 4 of these. So we're going to start with putting together these like this. We're going to take these over to the machine, and then while we're at the machine, we're going to take these other 4 pieces, the greens, and we're going to sew those on while we're at the machine. So let's go over to the machine so I can show you how this goes. Okay, so here at the machine, I brought the chart over here with us so that we can see. My blue and my red are going to be all hooked together exactly the same. So I'm going to leave my chart right here in the throat space. We're going to move those greens out of the way for now. We're going to have blue and red, just like this. And I'm going to make them all exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and put these right sides together, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my point through like this and sew a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to do the same exact thing again. Blue like this and red like this. We're going to put that right sides together. And if you don't want to stick the point through because you have an open mouth, you can also stick the other side through, just like that, where you're going in square side up. So again, they're going to go like this. So you stick them like right sides together. We're going to run these through. And again, if you have a deep, bigger hole in your plate and you have the ability to do side stitches and everything, this is straight stitch only. But if you have the ability to do all the other stitches, you can stick these right sides together like this and put your blue in this way, just like that. So now we're going to, where did it go? Right here. We're going to snip these apart because they need to stay on their own. And we're going to go ahead and press these towards the blue. Did my tension mess up yet again? Okay, no, it didn't. I don't know what's wrong. I think it's the thread. I think it doesn't like this brand of cotton thread, unfortunately. I don't know. It keeps doing it to me, though. We're going to press all these now towards the blue. One more. Again, towards the blue. Now we're going to take, and there's going to be a little bit of a waste with this, but we're going to take this. We're going to put these right sides together just like this. And you're going to have a lot of hangover. Can you see? A lot of hangover. But what we're going to do is we're going to treat this as if it was two squares and we're sewing from diagonal to diagonal. So we're going to line this up. I'm going to line that top and the bottom so you can see it's creating a nice perfect square. I'm going to stick it down this direction right here, and I'm going to sew from the tip corner to the tip corner, just like this. And then we're going to trim away a 1/4 inch like always. So there's going to be a little bit right here that gets trimmed. But when we open it up, we will have a 2.5 inch 1/4 square triangle. So we're going to move that out of the way. We're going to do this all over again. So we're going to put this right sides together. You're going to see that it's sticking out just like this on both sides, more than a 1/4 inch, well more than a 1/4 inch. We're going to sew. If you were to have laid it just like this, you can do that as long as you have a 1/4 inch. But I say it's easier to just line them up at the square part of this. So we're going to line it up. Everything's good. I'm going to go in again from the tippy corner to the tippy corner. So now that you've seen how that's done, we're going to go ahead and just continue with the other pieces. And if it's not exactly square, you can see it's not exactly square. This blue is sticking out more. Lay it as square as you can, as long as we're stitching from tip to tip. So we're going to stick this under just like this, corner to corner. One last piece. We're going to line this up right here. So I'm going to try to square it up as best as I can. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this under just like this, corner to corner. And then we're going to snip them apart, and we're going to take these over and trim away the excess and trim the whole thing, because you can see this one has a little bit of red sticking out. That's perfectly fine, as long as when you open these up, they are 1/4 square triangles. So let's take these over and trim them. So here we are at the cutting table. As you can see, they stick out quite a bit. So you can see you have a little bit of a fold, but we're going to turn that into a 1/4 inch seam, because all we're going to do now is line up our 1/4 inch mark on our ruler, just like this, and trim it away. So, I mean, you really have a sliver that we're cutting away. And then we're going to turn the block like this, and we're going to line up, we're going to square up our original block just like this. We're going to trim off any excess, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut these dog ears off manually, just like that. So there is one 1/4 square triangle. Let's do that process again. So again, trim away a 1/4 inch. You'll have a sliver and your little half piece that we have with everything. And then I'm just going to lay my ruler on here, just like this. So I have a straight edge on here, and I'm lining it up with my original square, just like this. Line it back up with my original square, and I'll trim away any excess, which isn't much. It's literally a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And we're going to trim away the dog ears, just like that. And this little piece has a, there we go. Get that away. We're going to do the next one. So I'm trimming away my 1/4 inch seam allowance amount first, tossing that to the side, lining up my ruler with the square itself, my original square, and then I'm going to take away my little dog ears, just like that. And this one I got to get right here because it didn't chop it away. And last piece, again, 1/4 inch, just like that. I'm going to turn it around. You can see my original square is still squared. We're just trimming away from that square. And then this, and then this. And when I open these up and press them all towards that green, I should have a 2.5 inch square, just like that. So let's take these over and press them, and I'll be right back to right here. All right, here we are back at the table. Let's start laying our block out. Here is the chart. I'm on the opposite side than I normally am on, guys. So we're going to stick this in the middle. We want the green to go to the outside like that, with the red touching the center. So we're going to go again. Red touching the center, the green is towards the outside. Red touching the center, the green is towards the outside. And last but not least, red touching the center, green is on the outside. Now to build around it. So it looks like purple is the color that is going all the way around this. This is probably not the right colors, but we're going to make it work because I don't really honestly feel like choosing any other colors right now. So we're going to go all the way around it just like that. Looks like I pulled one extra piece than I needed. Now the next one is the pinks. So we're going to go pink here, here, there, 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 and right there, and right here, and here. And the last 4 areas to put something. Oh, I didn't even realize it. You guys are kind of out of the screen. There we go. The last 4 area is right here, there, here, and there. Just like that. So there's our block. Now it looks pretty much like the picture. We're going to take this over the machine. Same procedure as the last, except this time I'm going to put some music on and put you in fast forward. But before I do that, we're going to take these, those, these, those, and these. We're going to sew down this seam. So that means right sides together, the whole entire thing, and we're going to sew down that seam. And then we're going to open them up, attach the 3rd column, then open those up, attach the 4th, and so on and so forth, leaving everything on the machine the whole entire time. So let's go over to the machine and sew those in fast forward with some music. There is the block. So it measures 10.5 by 10.5. Oops, stay. It's kind of sliding around on me. Let's look at the photo. Oh, it looks mostly like the photo. I didn't use as bright of colors as I drew, except for that pink and that orange. But there is the block. It looks super good. Let's see what both the blocks look like. So there's both of them. Let's see what their photos look like. So here's the first one. Looks just like the photo. Then there's the second one, and it also looks just like its photo. So there is that. There's both of the blocks for today's 25 patch blocks. And if you would like to take a screenshot, there is the drawing. And if the drawing is not up your alley on choosing color, then just use the blocks themselves. All right, well, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below this video, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.